Recall! Yeah! The Visit is a 2015 horror film directed by M. Night Shyamalan. It stars Olivia de Jong and Ed Oxenbould. The story is about a brother and sister who are sent by their mum to stay with their grandparents for a week, grandparents who they've never met before due to their mum having been estranged from them. But while they're there, let's just say some pretty weird things start to happen. And things get worse. Much, much worse. Now, M. Night Shyamalan, I don't need to tell you who he is. He's the guy who did The Sixth Sense, Unbreakable, Signs, The Village. After that, though, his career started kind of going into a bit of a downhill slump. You know, he started off with these amazing movies, particularly The Sixth Sense. I mean, what a way to start your filmmaking career. But lately with movies like After Earth, things have kind of been on the rocks for him. And a lot of people have been put off by his movies, which is a shame because I'll tell you what, The Visit is fantastic. Now, I'm going to admit that I'm one of those people who actually put off seeing it at first because of his track record lately. But my girlfriend and I just watched it the other night, and holy crap, man, it was so much fun. I mean, yeah, it's a horror movie, but it's one of those fun, thrill ride kind of horror movies. I mean, between you and me, there was a few scenes where my girlfriend was screaming on the couch. So the story is done documentary style. Now, I know not a lot of people like that kind of film, but it was put to really good use. Every single shot was justified as to why there was a camera there. You really believe that this young girl is making a movie. I've read a lot of things referring to the movie as a found footage movie, but I don't necessarily agree with that. It's more of a documentary style film. I mean, found footage to me is, one of those things that kind of tells you like the characters have died or something's happened or whatever, and the footage is found years later and turned into a film. Not in this case. This was definitely done with a fun documentary kind of a style. There are so many things that were right with this movie. For starters, the performances. My God, the two kids who I mentioned before, they were awesome. They are Australians, I might add, and my God, you couldn't tell. But they were just so likable, particularly the boy. He was so funny. I mean, that was the thing with this movie. It was really, really funny. Apparently, M. Night Shyamalan did 3 cuts of the movie. There was a full-on horror version, a full-on comedy version, and then what we got, which was like the mixture of the two. And it was a great balance of horror and comedy. Aside from that, the grandparents, played by Deanna Dunagan and Peter McRobbie, they were also exemplary, particularly the Nana. Holy crap. Man, what she did in that role, physically as well as emotionally, it was outstanding. She was one hell of a creepy character. Aside from that, it was a really good looking movie as well. I mean, it was a bit of a stretch of the imagination to believe that this young girl was shooting some of these amazing shots, but at the same time, I mean, every kid has a camera these days, so why not? Aside from that, the dialogue was cracking. It was a great story, and my God, there were some shots in the movie that were shocking. There was one shot in particular, I'm not going to spoil anything, but it involved a game of hide and seek under the house, and there was one moment which had my girlfriend screaming, and I got to admit, it's an image that is burned into my brain forever. It was so creepy. So look, this movie is such a welcome return for M. Night Shyamalan. I'm really looking forward to seeing what he does next. This movie was actually done away from the studios. It was financed out of his own pocket. It was actually done in secret, like nobody even knew this movie was happening. And there was a really interesting featurette in the special features on the Blu-ray where M. Night Shyamalan was talking about his departure from the Hollywood system and how he had more artistic control over the movie without the studios telling him what to do. And man, it seriously paid off. If he can keep making movies like this, I think his career is going to go right back up again. So the only thing to let it down, there was a couple of plot holes which I actually can't really go into because it's going to be delving into spoiler territory, but yeah, it wasn't perfect. There were a couple of things that you sort of scratch your head and think, well, how come that didn't happen? Or, that kind of thing. But look, those are just minor flaws. I'm going to give The Visit a 9 out of 10. So look, if you were like me and you didn't see it because of his most recent movies, forget about it. Check it out. It is a lot of fun. You're going to love this movie. I'm already looking forward to seeing it again and again. I'm so glad I actually bought the Blu-ray. So thank you for taking the time to watch this review. I hope you like my channel. If you do, don't forget to subscribe because I'm going to have plenty more reviews coming up. Drop me some comments either here or on Facebook because I like to talk about movies and I would love to talk about movies with you. See you next time.
Hey you there. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Click subscribe. You see the big word up the top that says subscribe? Well, click on it. Click on it now. Do it. Yeah.